Very good morning to all of you, my dear students. This is our third lecture of the chapter 5 Kingdom Classification. In this chapter, in the previous two lectures, we studied microorganisms, single celled, basic single celled organisms, that means prokaryotic organisms, and advanced single celled organisms, that means eukaryotic organisms, which were protistas, okay, and basic one were monera, okay. Today we shall study some organisms which are saprophytic or parasitic in nature, okay, and this kingdom is called kingdom fungi. So the kingdom fungi consists of some plant like fixed, or why we call them plant like, because they look like plants. They when they grow up, when they become multicellular, they somehow they look like plants, okay, and they are fixed at their place. So actually they are not plants, they are fungi. Fungi is a whole different kingdom itself, just like plants, okay. So let us start. First of all, we will see general characteristics of the kingdom fungi, okay. General, here is a very beautiful image, my dear students, very beautiful image of raindrops falling on a colony of fungi. Okay, so the first characteristic feature is that fungus is commonly occurring non-green organisms. They are commonly occurring and they are non-green. That means they don't have chlorophyll, okay, in their cells. They are non-green and commonly occurring organisms, okay. They are either saprophytic or parasitic in nature. This is what right now we discussed. Saprophytic means the organisms which grows and survives on, dead and decaying organisms, other dead and decaying organisms. They eat and survive, saprophytic. And what are parasitic? Parasitic organisms are those organisms which survives by taking food and nutrients from other living organisms, okay, who are right now in a living state. So it doesn't matters with a point of view, fungus point of view. If we see from their perspective, it doesn't matter the organism is dead or it is alive. They will simply grow on the surface of that organism and they will try to absorb nutrients out of them, okay. This is what they do. Fungi, fungus, they can be found in air, water, and soil, on the body of animals, on plants, old and dump shoes, clothes, leather goods, tree trunks, and foodstuffs such as chapati, pickles, jam, bread, etc. These are some, favorable places for uh, funguses to grow, okay. So they can practically be everywhere, okay, like in air also, in water also, on soil also, and mostly on animals and plants body, and mostly on dead organisms, okay, living also. We will see a lot of examples in this class. Fungi thrives best in warm and dark, okay, warm and damp, dark and damp. Dark, why dark? Because sunlight is dangerous, harmful for all these types of organisms, okay. So fungus is also highly affected with sunlight. And you have noticed that if suppose some leather shoes, you have some old leather jacket or leather shoes and some fungus grows on it in the rainy season, okay, you have not cleaned it recently and you have kept it somewhere and some fungus grow on it. So what you will do, you will take it on the roof and you will leave it there in the sun for the whole day, and in the evening it will either automatically go, or it will just require once you just you require to clean it once and it will go. So all the the structures which are formed by funguses are dead in a day. So sunlight is harmful for them. So dark, warm, and damp water is very essential for all life forms. So very dry conditions are not good for fungus also, it needs some water, though they will thrive best, okay. And one more thing, that they can survive extreme temperature also, okay. They can survive extreme temperature also. Fungus can. Sunlight doesn't only have temperature. Sunlight have a wide range of light. Okay, not only temperature. It has infrared, it has ultraviolet, and many more type of radiations. Okay, electromagnetic radiations which we can't see. So that is dangerous for it. But if as far as only the temperature is concerned, fungus are good at high temperatures. Okay, now let's move further. Here we have some uh, you know some types of fungi. Actually, some examples you can take it as some examples, but they are some different types also. First one is yeast. Okay, yeast is single celled organisms. Yeast is single celled fungi. Yeast is actually the only single celled fungi. Okay, rest all the fungus are multicellular. Only the fungi that is unicellular is yeast. Okay, and it looks like this. You can see closely, all the cells are staying together. Okay, in the moving stage you can see them like this. They are actually reproducing. If you will see closely, they are budding. Okay, they are doing their stuff. So this is a real image. This is fungi. Okay, this is how it looks. Yeast. Okay, next type. Let's go to the next type. Next type is penicillium. Penicillium is used to make penicillin. Okay, penicillin is a antibiotic. We will study about it in this class only. First of all, just as an example, you don't have to memorize all these things. Okay, this is just for you to see what you are reading. Okay, just when we have the this opportunity, like I can't show every type of electronic images and mm, microscopic images in classroom every time. It will be very tough there. Okay, but here it is very easy. That's why I'm sharing all these things with you, that somewhere we are lacking. Na, we are not in a classroom. Somewhere we are lacking. So somewhere we must, the benefits of this technology we must take. That's why I shared as many images and gifs, etc. with you as possible. Okay, so this is penicillium. Okay, this is how beautiful it looks on a microscopic level. This is multicellular. You can see many different cells are here in this. Here also, these circle small circles are all cells. So this is multicellular, but still it is microscopic. Okay, very small, can't see with naked eyes. Penicillium. Next example is aspergillus. Aspergillus is it looks like this. It can be cultured in a laboratory. It is again multicellular. Only yeast is unicellular. Otherwise, all are multicellular. It is can be cultured. It in a microscopic view, it looks like this. It looks like this on a microscopic level, and it looks like this when cultured in a laboratory. Do you know what is a culture? A culture is a small tray like this, small plate like a structure in which some liquid is poured, which is very favorable for that microorganism which we need to grow. Okay, for several purposes, for research purposes and for other experiments. We grow different types of microorganisms in vitro, that means in laboratory. Okay, so what we do, we keep those plates in laboratories, and we have studied what are the favorable conditions for that organisms to grow. We create such favorable conditions, and we put some of those organisms, like some parts or some reproductive structures, in those cultures, and we leave it for an extended period of time. And then when the culture is ready, it it can be used for various purposes, like medical research, other research, and all those things. Okay, suppose if one very good example of culture I will give you, that suppose someone have some disease. Okay, and it is well known that if anyone have that disease, their blood will have this bacteria. Okay, let's say. So what they will do, they will take one a drop of blood from that man, and keep it in a culture, and leave it for an extended period of, for a certain period of time. And after that, they will see and find that that bacteria had grown or not. If that bacteria has grown, that means that bacteria is in that human's blood. Okay, so this is just one example. There are many other research uses of growing microorganisms, even dangerous ones, in laboratories. Okay, so again, after asparagus, we have mushrooms. Mushrooms too we are familiar with, we must have seen mushrooms. This is a very beautiful picture of a mushroom here. And this one is a gif how it is growing. Actually it happens very slowly. Okay, this is a very fast forward image. I think it is in a couple of seconds it is showing us the growth, which could be in a couple of days or 3 4 days. Okay, that is it's showing right now. So this is how they grow upward, just like other. And one more type of example is this is that bracket fungi. One more type of fungus is there, bracket fungi. You can see it, you must have seen it somewhere if you live in a place where rain is, always there, you must have seen it. So bracket fungi is also there, one more example. So these types of fungi are there in the environment. Okay, from unicellular to multicellular, big ones also, there are many types of, one very interesting fact I will tell you, that when plants were not here on earth and oxygen was also not here, then mushrooms were the biggest uh, I will say creatures on this earth. They were up to several feet, I guess 100 feet, up to 100 feet or something like that. I'm not sure about the number 100, but I'm just giving you an approximate idea that they were really tall. Okay, and trees started to grow like mushroom, and slowly, slowly, as the oxygen level rised, trees become big and mushrooms become small in a millionth or million or trillion years, million or billion years. Okay, that was interesting. Big, big mushrooms. Do you like mushrooms or you like trees? You tell me. Well, I like trees because they give fruits, mangoes. Okay. Okay, now there are, my dear students, there are colony and mycelium. There are two types of structures which fungi form to live. Okay, we all live now. We all live. We need some structure, like we need a house, we need a locality, we need a colony, we need a city, we need states, we need countries. Okay, that's why, just like that, fungus also needs some structure to live. There are two types of living structures of fungus. Let's see, have a look on both of them. Okay, colony and mycelium. What are these things? Just we will see. Colony, yeast are the only example of unicellular fungi, and they exist in colonies. This is very simple. Yeast are only unicellular, and colonies of yeast look. This is again a culture, okay, in which yeast is grown, and it looks like this, spreaded here and there. Okay, one more image. This is also a colony of yeast, in which here you can see small yeasts living together in a colony. Okay, this one is simple, they just stay together to form a colony. Okay, here this one is little bit complex to understand, but I will definitely make you understand, try my best. My multicellular fungi forms thread like structure called hyphae. Okay, don't see more, just understand this first, that multicellular cell will combine together to form a thread like structure which is called hyphae. So far so good. Hyphae made up of different cells of fungi. So this is this is a part of that whole organism, just like the tissue. Hyphae is just like a tissue. Okay, and then on, it's called hyphae. On the substance on which they grow, a network of hyphae is called mycelium. And when these types of hyphae, lots of hyphae combine together to form that organism itself, then that organism, not actually organism, fungi is mycelium is not an organism, but the whole structure, I will say better. Okay, the whole structure, when a lot of thread like structures combine together to form the whole structure, that whole structure is called mycelium, and one thread is called hyphae. Okay, you, for remembering, you can remember like hyphae is a smaller word na, so that means a smaller structure, and mycelium is a bigger word, so mycelium means all combined. Okay, just a trick to remember. So hyphae is a smaller word, that means a thread, and mycelium is the whole structure. So how does it looks? It looks like this. Okay, if we will we will see the cross section of a mushroom. These structures, underground structures, root like structures, are also, hyphae. Mycelium, this is also mycelium made up of a lot of hyphae, and that one is also hyphae. Okay, also mycelium but made up of lot of hyphae. Okay, the thread like structures which is present inside the whole structure on the upper part also and on the lower part also is called hyphae, and the whole or structure combined together, or here in this case of mushroom we can also say it as a as an organism, an organism. So here it is also forming an organism, the whole organism is a mycelium. Okay, but if other we will see like bread molds, we can't say it like an organism, but here we can say bread molds. This is what we were talking. Why I said that we can't say it, we will see. Molds are multicellular fungi. Rhizopus is the commonly found. Rhizopus is an another name of bread molds. Okay, is a commonly found mold growing on slate bread. Slate breads which we use for making sandwich, thin slices of breads which generally comes at our homes. Let us learn about rhizopus. What is rhizopus? This is rhizopus. See, it looks like this. In actuality it looks like this when we zoom in a spoiled bread, and in a diagrammatic way it looks like this. Okay, I hope you are able to see this. Okay, so this is what bread mold. We must have seen bread molds. One additional fact about bread mold is that you shouldn't eat one of them. Okay, mold on bread, or from a loaf with visible spots, even small spots are there, you should not eat it. Okay, the mold roots can quickly spread through the bread, so you can't see them. Eating mold bread could make you sick. Okay, and if you are mold infected then it could harm too much. Okay, mold allergetic, some people are mold allergetic, in that case it could seriously damage, some cause some serious issues. Okay, structure of rhizopus. Now we understood that rhizopus is bread mold, and it is a type of fungi which grows on breads, and it is dangerous for us to eat. Okay, now let's see the structure of rhizopus. Okay, how is the is its structure? Rhizopus is commonly known as bread molds. This though we know, as it grows on stable slate bread or vegetables. Okay, it looks like white cottony mass. Okay, white cottony mass. It looks like na. It looks like white cottony mass, as here you can see white cottony mass. Okay, so it looks like white cottony mass which later turns blackish gray. Okay, it is here also we can see in this image, it is later on it is turning blackish and grayish. Okay, okay, which turns later on turns blackish gray. The mass of cotton thread is the mycelium. The whole mass is the mycelium. The hyphae are transparent and unicellular, branched or multinucleate, with or without and without a partition wall. So they are transparent, they are uninucleate. See, they are transparent na. So they are transparent, the cells are uninucleate, branched, or multinucleate. Okay, without a partition wall. It can be branched or it can be multinucleate or without a partition wall. That means this is the structure of a hyphae. This is not well established as a plant, but yeah, it is growing, and it is the what would previous version of the real plants. Okay, mushrooms. Okay, and here there are two things in the structure of rhizopus which we need to understand. First one is sporangia. These are sac-like spherical heads of hyphae. As you can see in both the images, the hyphae has a spherical head. Okay, each sporangium bears spores, which is called sporangium, and it is full of spores. Spores, what are spores? Spores are their reproductive organs. The spores will go float or swim to somewhere else, and there again it will grow as another mycelium. Okay. Okay, now spores are the reproductive part of the fungus. Okay, here you can see in this big image, sporangium is here, and on the right hand side once, sporangium is missing. Okay, and spores are, flying from there. This is food source hyphae. We have understood it. Okay, so in these types of fungus, there are four things. First one is hyphae. Hyphae will combine together to form mycelium, and uh, mycelium have a lot of sporangium, and those sporangiums have spores. Okay, one mycelium will have a lot of sporangiums, as in this image it was very clearly shown. In this image, see here, this is the whole, what, mycelium. The whole mass is a mycelium, and these all small white and black structures are what, sporangium. Okay. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about nutrition in rhizopus. Okay, so just like other fungi, rhizopus, like other fungi, lacks chlorophyll. Okay, one condition, my dear students, no fungi will have chlorophyll. Not a single fungi will have chlorophyll. If it has chlorophyll, it is a plant. Okay. Okay, lack of chlorophyll. Okay, and hence cannot prepare its own food. This is very obvious. How will it prepare its own food without chlorophyll? So the fungus grows on slate breads and absorbs nutrients, just not only on slate breads. Just an example is given that it grows on slate breads and absorbs nutrients from the decaying organic matter. Okay, it is thus a saprophyte. So how it is decaying organic matter? Because the bread is dead now. Bread is not living, it is a dead cell. Okay, they are dead cells, it is made up of dead cells, and it thrives on it, so it is a saprophytic. Okay, so in the very beginning we studied that fungi can be of two types. Either it can be saprophytic or it can be parasitic. If it is thriving on a or on an organism which is dead, then it is considered as saprophytic and saprophyte, and if it is thriving on an organism which is living, then it is called parasitic. Okay, let's move further. The hyphae of the fungus grows extensively in the organic matter, that is bread in this case, on which it grows. Okay, they secrete digestive enzymes into the organic matter and draw their nourishment, okay, from the sub, uh, substrate in a solution form. So what they do, they secrete some enzyme in the or on the or in the bread. Okay, and they will wait for the bread to little bit digest and dilute in that enzyme and make a liquid, and then they will absorb that liquid. Okay, and that will have some nutrients also. Okay, this is how they take nutrition. This is again one example of very beautiful example of hyphae and mycelium, showing its hyphae and sporangia. Okay, here nutrition you can see in this image. Why it is said not to, in the inside the bread, this is a bread mold. Inside the bread there are roots, not different types of structures growing inside. So these are also present when fungus is not very clearly visible on the top, but they started growing from inside. Okay, saprophyte. Saprophyte, a plant, fungus or microorganism that lives on dead and decaying organic matter. It is not compulsory that saprophytes will only be fungus. It could be plant or it could be other microorganisms like bacteria. Okay. Now, respiration. Let's see a few facts about respiration. It is very simple that because it is the structure is not so big and complicated now, so respiration is very easy here. Like bread molds respire aerobically. Aerobically means in presence of air. Okay, abundance of air. Okay, they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide from the hyphae walls by the process of diffusion. Okay, so this is very simple organism. Still, it is a very simple organism. So we don't need here respiratory system, trachea, and alveoli, and all those things. Okay, and the circulatory system, heart. We don't need all those things right now. Here it is simple. Only diffusion is enough for exchange of gases. Okay. Okay. This one is also a bread mold, and this is a electronic microscopic image of a bread mold. On the right hand side of this blue image, you can see a bread mold intact, and on the left hand side, you can see shading its sporangia. Okay. Okay. Now see some uses of fungi. What are some uses of fungi? So this is a bread here. It is actually made with the help of fungi. It is also spoiled with the help of fungi, with the help of bread molds, and new breads are also made with the help of fungi. How? We will see. Some fungi, uh, produces antibiotics. Penicillin is obtained from a fungi called penicillium. Okay, penicillium notatum. Okay, yeah, notatum. Penicillium notatum is a name of a fungi which is used to obtain penicillin. Okay, but in the examinations only penicillium generally comes. Okay, to making penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic. You must have heard the name penicillin. Okay, yeast is used in making bread. Yeast is added to the dough to ferment it. The dough rises due to carbon dioxide fermentation. While fermentation, yeasts secrete or release carbon dioxide. They take in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide. Okay, and these carbon dioxides accumulate. Okay, when the bread is baked, carbon dioxide gas escapes, making the bread porous and soft. When it is baked, due to high temperature, carbon dioxide gases are escaped and the bread becomes porous. Okay, so that's now you understand why bread have that small holes in it. Okay, because it is first it is fermented and then made, and while cooking, the carbon dioxide which is trapped inside the, air bubbles, small air bubbles here and there in the bread due to fermentation, those will escape, and the areas where the bubbles were present will be empty. That's why it will become porous and spongy. Okay, soft. Some fungi are used to give a special flavor of cheese. Okay. Some species, sorry students, some species of mushrooms such as Morchella and are edible also. We are also having, you have, tried ever mushroom chili in the, in which restaurants? Oh my God, lockdown has made us forgot the name of restaurants. Annapurna, yeah, their mushroom chili they give. If you have not tried, try it somewhere whenever you get an opportunity. It's good. So that is also fungi. Okay, that mushroom chili is also fungi. Okay, and now fungi also helps in the recycling of nutrients or chemicals by breaking down complex organic matter into simpler ones. Okay, saprophytic fungi decomposes plants and animal remains, thereby acting as natural scavengers. Just like bacteria, fungi also contribute a lot in this process of decomposing dead and decaying organisms. Okay. Okay, so these are some important uses of fungi: for making antibiotics, for fermenting things like bread and South Indian dishes also. Some fungi use special flavor in cheese. Okay, cheese making and recycling of nutrients or chemicals. Okay, now let's see some harmful fungi. A good number of fungi causes diseases in crops, plants and fruit plants. The rust and smut disease of wheat barley and bajra are caused by fungi. Late blight of potato and smut of sugar cane are also caused by fungi. Late blight of potato was very deadly in Europe, I guess in 1940 or 1960, something like that. It late blight of potato caused a very big serious trouble. And then one different type of species was species of potato were evolved that were blight resistance. I had read it somewhere. Okay, you can google it. Okay, and this is the result of a late lay. You can imagine, my dear students, how deadly and how inconvenient it is to get these disease to our crops. Okay, so this is late blight of potato. This is the potato and the leaves of potato. Okay, now let's see some other harmful effects. In human beings, ringworms infection and athlete's foot disease are caused by fungi. Fungi may also cause food poisoning. Okay, molds can cause lungs infection also. Bread molds, their spores, na, they can, if you will sniff a bread full of mold, it can go in your lungs and it can cause serious lung infections. Okay, so it is not recommended. Sporangia, saprophytic fungi such as molds causes spoilage of food, leather goods and textiles. So saprophytic fungi are they will grow on dead and decaying dead and decaying organisms, and leathers were also some parts of organisms. Okay, some part of, so they grow on leathers also. In human beings, first of all, let us see, this is an athlete foot. Okay, if you will do a lot of exercise and a lot of physical activity, and continuously you are wearing socks and shoes, you might get this disease very easily. It is very common, athlete's foot. It happens to all the sports persons many times. And this is also some type of fungi, ringworm. It forms a ring like structure on the skin anywhere, and it becomes very itchy, and if not treated properly, treated, blood may also come out of those red rings. Okay, so this was it. Today we studied many types of, we have seen, just for example, we have seen many types of fungi, and we studied bread molds in details, and we saw other useful and harmful features or characteristics of different types of fungi. In our next class we will discuss about the next two type of kingdoms, which are Plantae and Animalia. Okay, bye now. Take care, all of you, and stay safe. Stay at home. Thank you very much.